All right, everybody, we're back again with Achala ji, and today we'll be doing this nakshatra uh, meditation and nakshatra chakra mantras, Beeja mantras for Mrigashira Nakshatra or Margashira Nakshatra. So, Achala ji, welcome. Namaste.
Namaste. Share my screen now. Okay. So here we have Mrigashira Nakshatra or Margashira, and the only mantra of the Shuddha chakra that is connected with this nakshatra is M. Mantra M. And mantra of whole Margashira Nakshatra is Om M Mrigashira Nakshatraye Namaha. Om M Mrigashira Nakshatraye Namaha. Om M Mrigashira Nakshatraye Namaha. And it's very interesting, actually, which mantra for this nakshatra, because not so many words and not so many verbs at all are starting with this particular vowel. So I took some of them. There's not so much like for Rohini before. So two particular root verbs are H, which means to steer something, and et, to thrive. And kind of interesting for me if we take into consideration that the deity of Mrigashira Nakshatra is Soma, and I somehow connected it with steering our consciousness actually to get this essence of life. So again, this element of purification through actually movement, through purifying, through steering something within ourselves, within our own consciousness, a little bit actually like churning of the ocean of milk. And it to thrive, which shows a little bit more maybe adventurous side of this nakshatra, I would say. But for me always was particularly interesting that the word that is really often used and starts from the letter A is Eka, one. And I noticed so many times because it's very interesting because Mrigashira Nakshatra, like all Mars nakshatras, half of her is in one sign and then half is in another sign. So it's always in a way searching and not always knowing where to go, whether more to the earthly vibrations or more to the air vibrations. And I noticed this many times that people who come to me on consultations, whenever I even start saying to them that, oh, you know, you have ascendant or moon or whatever in this particular nakshatra of Mars, and half of it is here and half of it is here, they usually already stop me and they say, oh, you know, this is how my life is. Really, I am like one leg here and one leg here. I just can't decide really what to do. And particularly with Mrigashira, it's very special because this is the head of a deer, right? So this, again, this running away and this searching also is very important here. It's even called the star of search. And the nakshatra which is right after that is Ardra, which is on the other hand like complete opposite, like really focused on the goal. And I think that even just this beach mantra and this single word, Eka, actually holds in a way remedy for these people. To really keep focus on one goal, to keep focus on the supreme goal actually. Because again, this is the deity Soma here, I think brings a very important meaning, because what often it happens with Mrigashira Nakshatra natives is like this element of ether, of searching, of changing constantly is extremely strong in them actually, because they're all the times looking for something in all possible different sources. And sometimes it ends up for many of them, if they don't control this quality within themselves properly, that it's literally like trying to dig for water in 10 places at the same time. And of course, if you try to do that, you will never get to water, really. You just need to choose one place, dig there, and go deeper and deeper. And this is ultimately, I think, also the meaning of Soma here, this elixir of life, because I think that Soma is really this bliss that we feel. And we feel this bliss in life not due to doing many different activities, fulfilling many different desires, but we really feel bliss when we are here and now and focus on the divine. When our action, which is again Mars, it's not for ourselves, it's for the divine. We are doing it as a service. And as a side effect comes an actual bliss, really. So this is how I particularly connect the Mrigashira Nakshatra. And there's one interesting thing about this nakshatra also that I would like to share. Again, before we were discussing about the similarities of Kritika and Vishaka, and here we see that exactly between zodiacal heart chakra and zodiacal throat chakra, on both sides of the zodiac, here are Mars nakshatras. And it's kind of very special and symbolic for me particularly, because it's really like kind of being between this element of ether, which is, let's say, more subtle, more refined, and between our heart's desires sometimes. And perhaps this is also why people born on one of these two nakshatras sometimes don't know really what to choose, whether to follow their desires really and fulfill them, or whether to control them actually and do something else. This is at least what I noticed.
It's very interesting, Achala ji. Just I'd like to add something. Sorry to interrupt. I love the way that you are connecting Margashirsha with the word Eka, which means one.
Yes.
Now, the ancient name of Margashirsha was known as Agrayana or Agrayani. Okay, this nakshatra. Agra means chief or the first. Ayana means the movement of the sun. So it was kind of, we can believe that, Margashirsha was also considered during certain times as being the first nakshatra. That's why they call it Agrayana. And the month of Margashirsha is also called as Agrayani.
Wow.
The lunar month. So that's very interesting to see the connection. When you're talking about Eka means one. One means the first one. Agra means first or chief or primary.
Wow. That is really interesting. And what I also found very special somehow with Margashirsha Nakshatra is in previous video, Dr. Aditya Togiji made this wonderful video on yoga taras. And I actually took some effort to just try to observe them on the sky, try to find some pictures on the internet. I was just curious how they actually look like, these stars. So to look at them at the sky. And as Dr. Aditya Togiji said that Yoga Tara for Margashirsha is actually Orion Nebula. And if we have a look how the nebula itself looks, it's like completely amazing. This is actually how looks the Orion Nebula. So we literally see the shape of the heart here. It's really pretty. And if we see, even if we really try to use our imagination a little bit, you can see literally a person, blue person here with hands up. It's really like, basically speaking, almost the stars are giving us literally a hint that this soma, this elixir of life that we are looking for, this bliss that Margashirsha is looking for, it's really in our hearts, deep within. It's not to be searched in the outside, really. It's always to be searched in the inside. And I found it really, really beautiful. And I totally love the shape of this nebula, I must say.
And it's very interesting also, just when visually looking at it. I'm not saying, I understand this, but it's a interesting analogy you brought. Look at the nebula. It looks like, as you mentioned, it looks like the heart. It's red in color. And look at that, the bluish tinge that you see with the stars there. It looks like the Vishuddha chakra. Vish means poison, but the Shiva, because he's called as Nilakanta. Nilakanta means somebody who's blue throat. So you can see that maybe this is the region. You can see between the heart and then the Vishuddha. I'm just trying to depict. I'm not saying that this is what it is. I'm just trying to see what I observe, and what I'm trying to interpret from what you said, because you said Margashirsha is actually beautifully the connection between Vishuddha chakra, and then you said Anahata chakra. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can see this two, Anahata and Vishuddha, kind of, looking at, staring at each other, and the region in
Yeah.
between of them.
This is really true, actually. It's very beautiful.
Excellent.
Wow. So the last slide, just to summarize all the chakras here. So the planet in Mahadasha system for Mrigashira Nakshatra is Mars. So this would be Manipura chakra. Again, this is another nakshatra that by beach mantra belongs to Vishuddha chakra, to throat chakra. It resides half of it in the sign of Taurus, which is heart chakra, and half of it in the sign of Gemini, which is Vishuddha chakra. So again, this heart and throat chakra energy is pretty visible here. And again, here are all the padas. So this is another nakshatra which, basically speaking, doesn't have any particular connection with any of the lower chakras. Similar like Rohini.
Yeah, it's very very interesting. That you're bringing this up, because Rohini is what we saw the same thing, and here also I had, looking at them, I said, okay, you can see all the higher chakras, from your third eye chakra going down to your which one, Manipura. So
Yes.
leaving behind Swadhisthana and Muladhara, and it's
Yes.
very interesting to see there is a very strong connection between Rohini and Margashirsha, is because even from the animal totems that you see, both of them are connected to serpents.
Wow.
One is the male serpent, and the other one is the female serpent. Both of them are like, they're twin nakshatras, kind of. So it's
Wow.
beautiful to see the connection there, and both of them are all talking about the higher chakras, and leaving behind the lower two chakras. But this is absolutely great information, Achalaji. And what I want to say, Achalaji, is I've never come across anything like this, and this is the new thing that I'm venturing into, and this is only because of you. And I want people to also go and visit your website, which is, I think, www.forharmony.eu. And
That's
I also want to say that Achalaji has written a great book on nakshatras and chakras and all of this. So you can go and buy her book from her website, which is Discovering Universe. So that's a beautiful book that everybody should go and refer to, because all these concepts have been detailed very much in her book. So we're grateful that she's coming and sharing this knowledge openly with all of us. So Achalaji, thank you very much for coming down and doing this Margashirsha Nakshatra with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Paiji. Namaste.
Namaste.